This video is about how to find domain of a function. What is the domain of a function? The domain of a function is the set of values of x for which the function is defined. That is, the domain of a function is the set of values for which the function values exist. How to find the domain of a function? The implied domain of a function defined by y equals to f of x is all real numbers if f of x is a quadratic function or a linear function or odd indexed root. Number 2, all real numbers that make the denominator 0 if f of x is a rational function. All real numbers for which the radicand is greater than or equal to 0 if f of x is even indexed root. Example 1. Find the domain of the function. A. F of x equal to 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. Example 2. Find the domain of the function f of x equals to cube root of 2x plus 3. F of x equals to cube root of 2x plus 3 is a cube root function, and cube root is an odd indexed root. Therefore, the domain is all real numbers, or in the interval form, the domain is minus infinity to infinity. Example 3. Find the domain of the function f of x equal to 3x minus 5. F of x equal to 3x minus 5 is a linear function. Therefore, its domain is all real numbers, and in interval form, the domain is minus infinity to infinity. Example 4. Find the domain of the function f of y equals to square root of y plus 3. This function is an even indexed root. Therefore, set radicand greater than or equal to 0. That is y plus 3 greater than or equal to 0. Move the 3 to the right side as minus 3. So you're left with y greater than or equal to minus 3. So the domain is all real numbers y such that y is bigger than or equal to minus 3. In interval form, the domain is close bracket minus 3 to infinity. Example 5. Find the domain of the function f of x equal to square root of x plus 3 over 3 plus x. Let f of x equal to 1 over 3 plus x times square root of x plus 3. What I have done is broken down this fraction into two functions. So this is a rational function and this is the square root function. So we'll first find the domain of the rational function. 1 over 3 plus x is all real numbers except x not equal to minus 3. Why? Because if I put minus 3 here, it will become 0 and 1 over 0 is undefined. In interval form, we'll say the domain is minus infinity to minus 3 union minus 3 to infinity. Now we find the domain of square root of x plus 3. It's an even index root. So to find the domain of square root of x plus 3, we'll take the radicand x plus 3 set to greater than or equal to 0 and then solve for x. So if you move the 3 to the right, it becomes x greater than or equal to minus 3. In interval form, we can write this square bracket minus 3 to infinity. Now the domain of the function will be the intersection of these two domains. In square, so be minus into comma minus 3 union minus 3 to infinity, intersection square bracket minus 3 comma infinity. So it will be the smallest of these. and the smallest of these is minus 3 to infinity. So we write this is the final domain of this entire function. Example 6. Let's find the domain of f of s equal to square root of s minus 2 over s minus 5. Now again, square root of s minus 2 is an even numbered root and it's a ration function. So we can first find the domain of 1 over s minus 5, which is a set of all real numbers except s equal to 5. In interval form, we can say the domain is negative infinity to 5 union 5 to infinity. Now we find the domain of the square root of s minus 2 is a set of all real numbers such that the s minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. Solve for s, so it becomes s greater than or equal to 2, which in interval form is square bracket 2 comma infinity. Now the domain of the total function is the intersection of these two domains. So we write minus infinity to comma 5 union 5 comma infinity intersection with 2 infinity. So the intersection is the smaller of these sets between 2 to infinity. But this interval has a 5 because after 2, 5 comes. And when you put 5 in the function, s minus 5 becomes 0 and this is undefined. So we have to exclude 5 from this interval. So this is the way you include. You can start with square root of 2, go up to 5, put the parentheses and the union and then 5 comma infinity. So 5 is not included. Finding the domain of a function. Find the domain of f(x) equal x plus 4 over the square root of x minus 8. So again we can break it down into these two functions, x plus 4 and the 1 over square root of x minus 8. Domain of x plus 4 is all real numbers. It's a linear function. So in interval form, minus infinity to infinity. The domain of 1 over x minus 8, since in the denominators, we instead of saying greater than or equal to 0, we just say x minus 8 greater than 0. Now solve for x, move the 8 minus 8 to the right to get x greater than 8. So in interval form, you can write 8 to infinity. Now the domain of the original function is the intersection of these two domains. Minus infinity to infinity, intersection 8 comma infinity. So the smaller of these two domains is 8 to infinity. So the answer is 8 to infinity. Thanks for watching. It's free to subscribe and comment.